Welcome to ESPN's Red Carpet Kickoff, engineered by GMC. Tonight in New Orleans, we mark the 10-year anniversary of that emotional night when, against all odds, the Saints returned to the Superdome 13 months after Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans and the Dome. It took only a minute and a half for Steve Gleason to announce that the Saints were indeed back. His punt block led to the game's first score, a touchdown, and the Saints went on to a 23-3 win over the Atlanta Falcons. That play came to symbolize the rebirth of this city and is immortalized with a statue outside the Superdome. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Sean McDonough along with John Gruden. Delighted to have you with us. What a memorable night that was 10 years ago. Mickey Loomis, the longtime general manager of the New Orleans Saints, says, John, for him, that night is still number one. Winning the Super Bowl was number two. That's how much that night meant to this city. They're in need of a little bit of a rebirth again this season. They're 0-2, and history tells us if you're 0-3 in this playoff format, you don't make the playoffs. No team has.
Well, 10 years ago, Sean Payton and Drew Brees came here to build the Saints football team. And when they started winning, it united everybody. They rallied the entire city. It was awesome. And wouldn't you know, 10 years later, it's the same two people, Sean Payton and Drew Brees, that have to rebuild the Saints again. And it's been tough on them. They have a lot of young players, and they have a slew of injuries. But with this crowd and with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, anything is possible.
Atlanta Falcons have remade their team a bit. They still have the veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan. You expect a shootout tonight?
I do. They have a great quarterback, a great receiver. They're balanced. They can run it and throw it. But I think if the Falcons are going to be for real, they got to show it on defense. They have really struggled in the first 2 weeks. They've added some players. They've added some team speed. They're led by a rookie middle linebacker, Deion Jones. They got to play better, or Drew Brees and Sean Payton will be a big problem.
I think Deion Jones might be the most excited man in the building tonight. Rookie middle linebacker, calling the defenses from the coaches to the rest of the team on the field. Grew up in New Orleans. He's never been in this building. Tonight he is. Here's Lisa Salters.
Sean, Deion Jones was 10 years old when Hurricane Katrina ripped through the city back in 2005. Jones and his parents got out of the city in his father's cab the morning before the storm hit. They were displaced for 7 months. Until tonight, when he got off the team bus, he had never stepped foot inside this building. But he told me he remembers watching that Monday night game 10 years ago when the Dome reopened and what it meant to this entire city. He said he expects tonight to be an emotional game for him. He has written an X on his cleats for this game tonight, the same way rescue workers would write an X on the door of every house they checked for survivors after the hurricane. Jones told me that X will always represent the resilience of this city and reminds him that no matter how long it might take, you can always come home. Sean?
Great story. We'll look forward to watching him tonight. Time for tonight's Gillette game notes. Drew Brees has averaged 306 yards passing in 21 games against Atlanta. Matt Ryan has averaged 301.5 in 15 games against New Orleans. They are the only two players in NFL history who have played at least 10 games against an opposing team and have averaged at least 300 yards passing in those games. We expect another shootout tonight. More from New Orleans right after this. The New Orleans Saints take the field 10 years and 1 day after they made a dramatic return to the Superdome. That was 13 months after Hurricane Katrina ravaged the Gulf Coast. New Orleans welcomed the new head coach, Sean Payton, and a starting quarterback in Drew Brees. But it was a little-known special teams ace, Steve Gleason, who ignited the city's rebirth on the night the Superdome reopened. The Dome would celebrate again 3 years later when the Saints defeated Brett Favre and the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. It set the stage for the franchise's first Super Bowl crown and the biggest party the Big Easy has ever seen. Payton and Brees are still running the show, one that has produced the most total yards and second most points in the NFL since they arrived together back in 2006. They're still here, and so are we. Sean McDonough and John Gruden, welcome back to the booth. Time for tonight's State Farm right combination. They tell us there's a debate going on tonight. I'm going to give you a chance to give a very political answer at the top of our telecast tonight. If you had to pick between Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, who's your pick?
I'm going to take them both, Sean.
I knew
These
you were
guys
gonna
are
say that.
really good quarterbacks. They're like coaches on the field. I call them CEOs because when you turn on the film, I'm so impressed with their command. They take control of every situation. You see them audible. They handle the noise. They handle pressure situations. They handle it all. They're great communicators, verbally and non-verbally. And they both have superior arm talent, anticipation, timing, and touch. And they're not afraid to let it fly down the football field, especially in these dome stadiums. But what impresses me the most is how relentless they are. They attack you for 60 minutes, and the fourth quarter usually brings out the very best in Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. I think we're in for a shootout tonight. This will be the 16th time Brees and Ryan have gone head-to-head. They have great mutual respect for one another. This is going to be a good one.
Indeed, it should be. Time now for the national anthem. Here's public address announcer Chuck Edwards.
And now, to honor America, please welcome Grammy Award winner and the Soul Queen of New Orleans, Irma Thomas. Irma performed the Star-Spangled Banner 10 years ago with the late Alan Toussaint when the Mercedes-Benz Superdome reopened following Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
Now here at the end of the national anthem, you see the two teams moving toward the flag and toward the center of the field. The two coaches talked to each other this week with all the attention given to player comportment around the national anthem. They had the two quarterbacks get in touch with each other, and the two teams decided they wanted to be completely respectful to the national anthem, all the players standing at attention, but now they're joining hands and getting together for a moment of silent prayer, reflection, whatever the players choose to do, and coaches individually, with an eye toward what has transpired this week in Tulsa and Charlotte. They wanted this to be a sign of unity among these division rivals. Well done. You've been watching ESPN's Red Carpet Kickoff, engineered by GMC and their lineup of Denali vehicles.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We're back inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome and ready to go in front of another fired-up sellout crowd trying to root Drew Brees and the Saints onto their first victory of the year. Atlanta won the toss and deferred, so the Falcons will kick off. Matt Bosher to boot it away to Travaris Cadet and Marcus Murphy. Murphy, about 7 yards deep, takes a knee, and Drew Brees and the Saints will begin from the 25-yard line. Drew Brees, the all-time NFL record holder in career completion percentage, completions per game, passing yards per game and 300-yard passing games, now with 97 of those. At age 37, in his 16th year in the National Football League, his 11th with the New Orleans Saints. And showing no signs of slowing down. Falcons defense scrambling the line up on first down. Mark Ingram for a 3-yard gain.
You know, Sean, after watching Brees on the practice field, he still has that it factor. The hardest working, most consistent Saint that I've ever seen. He makes everyone around him better. What's amazing is the changes on the left side of the offensive line. He's got a new left tackle, a new left guard, a new go-to receiver. Nothing phases him.
Play fake to Ingram. And in the flat, it's the tight end Kobe Fleener in his first year here in New Orleans. Taken down by Sean Weatherspoon, 2 yards short of the first down. They're trying to get Fleener going. Brees has used the tight end so well over the years, but Fleener still adjusting here in New Orleans.
You aren't kidding. Just his 4th catch. He's been a one-dimensional receiving tight end only. And against this struggling Falcon defense, they'd love to see Fleener light it up between the numbers.
3rd down and 2. Saints have struggled on 3rd down through the first 2 losses, 29%, and Ingram had a lot of work to do to pick that one up. Wrapped up by the rookie safety Keanu Neal, 1st-round pick out of Florida. For the Saints up front, without their starting left tackle Teron Armstead, Andrus Peat moves from guard to tackle, and Senio Kelemete, ordinarily a backup in at left guard. Very young receiving core. Brandon Coleman at age 24 is the eldest of the wide receivers. Ingram on 1st down. Wow. Powering his way out to the 42 before he's driven back by Deion Jones and Sean Weatherspoon.
Falcons have to do a better job on defense, Sean. They have given up some long scoring drives in these first 2 games. Deion Jones is a fast linebacker, but when you run the ball right at him, they have had a hard time getting off blocks and bringing backs down.
On 2nd and 4, the 4-man rush and a 1st down throw. It's Brandon Coleman, ordinarily their 4th wide receiver, but they're without Willie Snead, out with a toe injury tonight, so Coleman moves up 1 spot in the wide receiver rotation.
Keep an eye on the complexity of this offense. You see Tim Lolito, number 68, an offensive lineman, check in as a tight end. John Kuhn, the ex-Green Bay Packer, number 29, now in as an H-back. You're going to see all kind of formations and personnel groupings, and clearly the Falcons are having a hard time lining up.
Movement and whistles. Max Unger, the center, indicating it's against the Falcons. Grady Jarrett jumped across. Pete Morelli is the referee.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
Falcons giving up 29.5 points per game through the first 2 weeks. Jonathan Babineau is the veteran up front, his 12th year. He played in that game here 10 years ago. Deion Jones in the spotlight tonight, the rookie from New Orleans. And in the secondary, Desmond Trufant, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. The rookie Keanu Neal just now getting healthy. Ingram taken down behind the line of scrimmage, and there is Deion Jones, the rookie from New Orleans, making his first big play of the night in front of his family and friends.
Well, you're going to see him shoot a gap. And left tackle number 75, Andrus Peat, filling in for Armstead. Doesn't get it done. You have to play with your eyes on these double teams. That time, Jones shows his speed. The man can run.
Second down and 5. The draw to Ingram with plenty of running room and another 1st down. Well, they're clearly making an effort to get the running game going tonight. That's a 7-yard gain for Ingram.
Draw plays. You get the defensive line going this way and the pass coverage going that way, and it creates seams in the defense. And Ingram, who's been awfully quiet the first 2 weeks, is off to a good start.
They haven't given him the ball much. He had just 21 carries in the first 2 games. Has 5 already on this opening drive. Replaced by Travaris Cadet, who's ordinarily a pass receiver. They throw it in his direction, and he makes a nice tumbling catch. They'll mark it at the 35-yard line. Sean Weatherspoon in coverage.
So many weapons. Cadet, a receiver only. You rarely see Cadet carry the ball. And look at the substitutions from this Falcon defense. They're getting tired running on and off the field, going from their base defense to their sub package.
Easy. Hey, Leo, fire. Hey, fire. Like 5-6. Ready. You ready? What's up?
Breeze throwing deep down the sideline, and it is caught. And a flag down. Cadet. Another catch with Deion Jones, the middle linebacker, running in coverage. 25-yard gain, but there is a flag down.
Pass interference. Offense, number 38. 10-yard penalty remaining. Second down.
Oh, I didn't see that at all. Drew Brees read the mail of the Atlanta Falcons. He knew it was man-to-man. He changed the formation and the pattern, and Cadet.
Boy. Wow.
There's a little push there. Big penalty makes it second down and 15. And we talked in the pregame, Sean, about this Falcon pass rush and these predictable passing situations. They got to cut it loose.
Ticky-tack call early in the game. And a flea flicker. Ingram flipped it back to Breeze. Wobbler down the far sideline and caught inside the 20. Brandon Coleman. And there's another flag down on that play.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 41 defense. After this is a goal. First down.
What a throw by Drew Brees. It's a flea flicker. Breeze under intense pressure from Wheeler, number 41 on the left side of your screen. Somehow he gets that ball off, and Coleman did a nice job tracking the sideline. First down, New Orleans.
And there's the personal foul on Philip Wheeler.
They're calling it tight here, Sean, early.
It's funny because Sean Payton had so many facts and figures on both teams, and also the officiating crew. He knew the Saints' record when Pete Morelli was the ref, 6-4. He said this crew tends to let them play, quote unquote, more than other crews. Typically throw fewer flags on average than other officiating crews. First and goal from the 8. Handed off to Brandon Cooks. And he's banged out of bounds at the 2-yard line by the hard-hitting safety Kamal Ishmael.
This defense has really struggled, Sean. They've given up 8 touchdowns already in 2 games of 75 yards or more. You keep hearing about the speed they've added. You've heard about some of the acquisitions that they've made. They got to get off the field and get the ball to Matt Ryan in this offense. That's not a good statistic, and the Saints have taken this opening kickoff right down the field.
Second and goal. John Kuhn in at fullback. The play fake to Ingram. Touchdown, Coby Fleener.
Atlanta Falcons have struggled to win an NFC South game under Coach Dan Quinn, and that is not how you want to start on the road. A play-action pass. It's Coby Fleener across the formation, wide open. That's one way to get your new tight end involved. Throw him a touchdown pass on the opening possession. Good work.
His first touchdown as a Saint. Will Lutz, the 22-year-old rookie out of Georgia State who grew up in the Atlanta area in Noonan, Georgia, adds the extra point. Breeze 5 for 5 on the opening drive. 7-0, reminiscent of 10 years ago.
Falcon defense really struggling early. The Saints showed 7 different personnel groupings, Sean, and they're having a hard time getting their base defense, their nickel defense on the field. And rookie middle linebacker Deion Jones talking to head coach Dan Quinn, can't line them up. They better get that straight.
Responsibilities, the communication made more difficult by the crowd noise as well. 11-play drive, 75 yards. It took 6 minutes, 35 seconds. Will Lutz kicks off. Eric Weems. Eric Weems. And it's the kicker Lutz who slowed him down long enough to get some help. But a terrific return by Weems all the way to the 45-yard line. 42-yard return. Matt Ryan back in a familiar spot with the familiar noise in the background here at the Superdome, having a terrific year. He's the leading passer in passer rating to this point in the NFL season. It is 9th year all with Atlanta out of Boston College. Hand signals to communicate they can't hear what he's saying. Devontae Freeman ahead for 2 yards. Nick Fairley made the tackle for New Orleans.
Noise is going to be challenging, Sean. There's a lot more diversity this year in the Falcon offense, and Matt Ryan is spreading the ball around to all his receivers, and they're doing a great job with the play-action pass. Right away, they're into the no-huddle offense. It's been good to them.
Freeman, nifty footwork, and a stiff arm to shed a tackler. He's across midfield and finally taken down by James Laurinaitis. He just said to Sterling Moore, get away from me, as he picks up a first down.
Well, that's why Freeman's in the Pro Bowl. Watch this run at real speed. You're going to see Roman Harper on the right side of your screen, not even touch him. And there's a beautiful stiff arm. That's a big-time run by a Pro Bowl back. You got to have a great stiff arm to fend off the inside-out pursuit. That's textbook right there.
They marked him short of the line to make. It's 3rd down and 1. Pressure brought by New Orleans. And they are taking Ryan to the turf back at the 46-yard line. Led by Cameron Jordan.
He's the best pass rusher they have in New Orleans. And they wanted to get Jordan on the left side against number 65, Chris Chester. But Jordan on the left side beats a fullback. That's a mismatch. And Julio Jones is well covered down the field.
Matt Boschert on the punt. He's had 6 blocked in his career. Michael Motti blocked one in the matchup last year. Special teams standout for the Saints. He's never had one returned for a touchdown. Collision at the back end, and now the ball is muffed. Tommy Lee Lewis was back deep for the punt. And it looks like Atlanta has recovered. They have. Reynolds came up with it for the Falcons. Leroy Reynolds.
Tommy Lee Lewis, an unknown that Sean Payton wanted to see as the punt returner. There's nothing he can do. Number 21, Harris, knocked into Lewis, and it's a huge recovery for the Falcons.
2 young players there, 2 rookies. Harris tried to pick it up and advance it. Tommy Lee Lewis made the team out of nowhere in the preseason.
This red zone defense of the Saints did a great job against Eli Manning and the Giants last week. They gave up a lot of yards, but they kept the Giants out of the end zone all day. Can they do it again to the Falcons?
Well, a big break for the Falcons early from the 11. Ryan looking into the back of the end zone for Julio Jones. Incomplete, covered by Ken Crawley. An undrafted rookie in a depleted Saints secondary.
Ken Crawley's been beaten at crunch time 2 weeks in a row. And in week 3, he gets Julio Jones in one-on-one coverage in the red zone. 4-year starter at the University of Colorado. What a story he is with all the injuries in this Saints secondary. He's going to have his hands full tonight with the great Julio Jones.
We've already lost 2 starting cornerbacks, Delvin Breaux to a broken fibula. P.J. Williams last week in the loss that the Giants suffered a concussion. 2nd and 10 from the 11. That's a lateral to Tevin Coleman, who puts his head down and is very near a first down. Heavy collision with James Laurinaitis and Jairus Byrd.
Coleman has really improved as a pass receiver. Had 7 catches coming in here. But Crawley 46, Roman Harper 41. Got to get off blocks.
9-yard gain. 3rd down and 1. Ryan and the Falcons looking for the tying score. Coleman. Touchdown, Falcons.
That's what you have to do when you get a short field sudden change. Take advantage of the turnovers and score touchdowns. Just an inside zone right off the left side, and it's Coleman. And Jairus Byrd, number 31, has a chance to make a one-on-one tackle but can't get it done. Told you it looked like a shootout, Sean.
Yep. Sean Payton, you see, was perturbed. Touchdown drive. The defense got a stop, but then the miscue on special teams leads to a touchdown for Atlanta. Just 3 plays to go the 11 yards after Harris knocked down his own man. Back in New Orleans, the special teams mistake and the subsequent touchdown for Atlanta has quieted the crowd. Sean Payton, his 10th season as head coach of the Saints, 87 regular season wins, 6 more in the playoffs. He's tied with Jim Mora, who's here tonight. He's the all-time winningest coach in Saints history. Win tonight, he'll be alone atop the all-time wins list. He's the leader by winning percentage. It's helped that he's been here for 11 years now with Drew Brees. And across the way, Dan Quinn in his 2nd season as head coach of the Falcons. You asked him about it yesterday, John. He has to start winning some divisional games. He's 1-6 against the NFC South in a year plus.
Certainly does. He knows that's the best way to win the division. He's already 0-1, having lost the opener to Tampa Bay.
They got a big win last week at Oakland for their 1-1 record. Marcus Murphy won't run back the kickoff from Matt Bosher. Saints ball tied at 7, 5:21 to go in the first quarter. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, our director Chip Dean, our terrific Monday Night Football crew, delighted to be in New Orleans for the Falcons and the Saints, spirited division rivals. 7-7 the score. Drew Brees marched them 75 yards on their first possession. Movement again. No flags down, at least not yet. Brees throws a wobbler incomplete. Brandon Cooks in the crowd hit the deck. Desmond Trufant in coverage.
Got to be offsides.
Sure looked like it. The fans are booing because that's what they saw.
Grady Jarrett jumped into the neutral zone clearly. Perhaps Lolito. No call. 2nd and 10.
On 2nd and 10. Brees dropped by Ingram in the flat. Sean Weatherspoon closing in.
Pass rush got there that time. Brees has always been a hard man to sack, but it's important that you disrupt him. Knock him down. Get him off the spot. Bat a ball down. Find a way to get Drew Brees off his launching spot or you have no chance. 3rd down and 10. Here's the specialty rushers of the Falcons.
Who have not been so special these last 2 years. Brees, deep ball. 2 receivers in the area. Brandon Cooks didn't look like he ever found it in the air. Kobe Fleener also running in the same vicinity. 3 incompletions on that possession and a 3-and-out for New Orleans.
And it's true fun. And you see 22, Keanu Neal playing man-to-man coverage with help from Allen over the top. With their first-round pick, Keanu Neal, in the lineup, the Falcons can play more man-to-man coverage. Paid off there.
Eric Weems already had a nice kickoff return tonight. Last week at Oakland, a 73-yard punt return, the longest of his career. Thomas Morstead kicks it out of bounds. That mistake on the punt by New Orleans really took the air out of this building. A big help to Matt Ryan as he goes back on offense.
This city breeds and attracts unique, outrageous people, humble people, who are honest enough to consecrate their shortcomings, persistent people, who rebuild when their city or their lives fall apart. After Katrina, the people of New Orleans had spent 12 months being devastated, and frustrated, and angry. That Monday night game against the Falcons was their chance to release all those emotions, and to let the world know, the city of New Orleans was back. I've always thought of that Monday night game, the punt block, and the statue, as symbols for the people of this region, who chose to return and rebuild. 10 years later, I feel like New Orleans is more beautiful, innovative, and vibrant than it has been. I have enjoyed being a part of the return and resurgence.
Steve Gleason, the hero of that Saints victory 10 years ago in 2011, diagnosed with ALS, and he's become a champion in that area as well. He was on the field before the game tonight as the Saints legend of the game for the toss of the coin. What an amazing man he is. Matt Ryan in a 7-7 game hands it off to Tevin Coleman running wide, and he bounces forward for a couple. Stephon Anthony and Craig Robertson, a couple of linebackers on the stop for New Orleans.
You know, Sean, one of the things that jumps off the film to me is how much better they are as center with Alex Mack. Mack came over from the Cleveland Browns, got a heck of a contract, was a Pro Bowl center. He makes all the calls. He's a good blocker. He makes everybody around him better, and the snaps are accurate, a problem for the Falcons last year.
Coleman again spins across the 30 for a first down. It definitely is a new approach this year. Last year, Coach, they leaned so heavily on Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman. This year, Kyle Shanahan, the coordinator, making a concerted effort to move the ball around. They want to snap it quickly. The Saints weren't lined up. Ryan throws, caught Mohamed Sanu across the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Bad defense by New Orleans. They left Sanu, the ex-Cincinnati Bengal, uncovered, and that's the ball distribution you just spoke of. Kyle Shanahan has done an excellent job with this offense early in this season, using everybody, tight ends, receivers, and backs. We haven't even seen Julio Jones yet.
Three and a half to go, first quarter. Saints crowding the line of scrimmage. Devontae Freeman down at midfield, a yard short of a first down. Craig Robertson, who's been their leading tackler through the first 2 games, in on another stop. He's in for the injured Donnell Ellerbe, out with a quad injury.
When you have defensive linemen out like the Saints do, use a no-huddle offense and pound them.
Play fake by Ryan. Wide open. The tight end, Jacob Tamme, their leading receiver through the first 2 games. He weaved his way down to the 41-yard line and a first down after a gain of 9.
Get the running game going. It sets up some of these wicked bootleg passes, and Matt Ryan's athleticism also pops out. I've never seen Matt Ryan move the pocket as much as he has in the last 2.5 weeks.
Freeman running right. Down to the 39 in the arms of Cameron Jordan.
Met Devontae Freeman at the Pro Bowl last year, Sean. He's an all-purpose back. Not only a 1,000-yard rusher, but he caught 73 passes. You can detach him from formations. He can do it all.
Quick set by Ryan. Tammy another catch. He's dumped a yard short of the first down by Ken Crawley with help from Craig Robertson.
Tammy, a very reliable receiver. You got to look at a lot of film to see this man drop a football. Sure-handed, and you need that in the middle of the field.
Saints again crowd the line of scrimmage, and they stop Coleman short of the line to make. James Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker in his first year in New Orleans after 7 with the Rams, for whom he's their all-time leading tackler, and a fourth down decision for Dan Quinn.
You're going to see Laurinaitis on the right side of your screen, 52. Craig Robertson shoots a gap. Good hustle to the football. Fourth down and a long one. Got to be alert for a hard count in this situation.
DeMarco, the fullback, into the game. The toss. In trouble is Coleman, and he dives for the line to make. Roman Harper trying to yank him down. There is a flag down on the play. They're going to mark it as a first down.
Horse collar on Roman Harper. And the speed of Tevin Coleman was the deciding factor. Let's hope he's okay.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Roman Harper pressed into service with the injury to Kenny Vaccaro. I don't think that's a horse collar, but some of these calls.
Well, they have included in the change of rules this year the nameplate across the player's back. But that looked like it was over on the edge of the shoulder pad. I'd like to bring in Jerry Austin, our rules expert, longtime NFL referee.
What I see on this play, he reaches for him, but he gets the shoulder and pulls him, and he doesn't actually immediately pull him to the ground. That's not a foul.
No political answer from Jerry on debate night tonight. Matt Ryan in the pocket. Throws a crossing pass complete.
There's another receiver.
Aldrick Robinson made the catch.
This is uncommon for Atlanta. Robinson, Tammy, Coleman. A lot of different Falcons making key contributions on this opening possession, and Julio Jones checks back in. They love him in these red zone situations.
Doesn't look like Atlanta will run another play unless they snap it very quickly. That's the end of the first quarter. Now, 10 years ago was a special teams play early that ignited the Saints' victory. Now it's a miscue on special teams that's turned it toward Atlanta. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters back in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 7-7 after the first quarter. And the Falcons on the move, trying to take their first lead of the night. Win tonight for Atlanta, they'll be all alone in first place in the NFC South. Been a disappointing start for a couple of teams in this division. Tampa Bay, Carolina already 1-2. The Saints haven't won a game yet. They're 0-2. So if Dan Quinn could get to 2-1 tonight, they'd have first place all to themselves.
This is a fickle conference, Sean, the NFC South. I used to coach in this division.
You tell me that it was Breeze and Ryan who in large part got you out of coaching and into the broadcast booth with their success against your Tampa Bay Bucks.
Shame on them. 2nd and 6.
Devontae Freeman, the running back. Line of scrimmage, the 13. Swing pass for Freeman. All kinds of running room. Touchdown, Atlanta. He beat Craig Robertson to the pylon for a 13-yard score.
Great design by Kyle Shanahan and the Falcons staff. They knew it was man-to-man, and they used their athletic left tackle, Jake Matthews. He's going to come inside and pick the defender that is covering Freeman. They're going to flip the ball to Freeman. Watch the left tackle Matthews come in and pick the linebacker who's one-on-one in coverage. That's great design. That's a walk-in touchdown for Devontae Freeman.
Matt Bryant with the extra point. And the Falcons lead for the first time tonight. 11-play, 74-yard drive. Took 5 minutes and 8 seconds. And the touchdown by Freeman. His first receiving touchdown of the year. Next Monday night, we'll get our first look at what looks to be a beautiful new stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The Vikings 3-0 play host to the New York Giants at 8:15 Eastern Time. Coverage begins at 6 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. You can catch all the action here on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. Vikings defense, very impressive. They're one of 5 teams now that have gone to 3-0, Minnesota.
Boy, they look good on defense. I mean, it's hard to lose when you don't give up any points. And they are physically taking it to people. They can rush the passer. They're good in the secondary. Credit to Coach Zimmer and their staff. You lose your starting quarterback right before the season and start off 3-0. That's great work.
And credit the GM Rick Spielman as well. Went out and made the trade for Sam Bradford, who has played very well, learning that system very quickly. Matt Bosher kicks off for the Falcons. And the Saints will begin at the 25-yard line. Drew Brees has already taken his place among the all-time greats. NFL quarterbacking, 3rd all-time in completions, behind Favre and Manning. 3rd all-time in passing yards. He moved past Dan Marino last week on that list. 434 touchdown passes. 3rd all-time. Manning leading the way with Favre number 2. He has a chance, if he stays on his pace of the last many years, to break all those records perhaps as soon as the end of the 2018 season. Mark Ingram. First down. 11-yard gain. The crowd likes the running play. He carried just 9 times all of last week in the loss to the Giants.
Good design, and it's just good blocking at the point of attack. 73, Shari Evans, Zach Strief at right tackle. And Ingram is off to a good start. Came in with just 21 carries. They want to get the man some work.
They ran the ball only 13 times in the entire game last week. The 7th carry of tonight's game for Ingram. 2 more for 32 yards.
There's Pete Carmichael. He's been with the Saints a long time. He's taken over a lot of the play calling. He and Sean Payton, they collaborate. They've been together. They think alike, and they know who they're dealing with. They're dealing with Drew Brees. Every play they call has been well practiced and approved by number 9.
Saw the run pass numbers 50-50 tonight. Heavily tilted toward the pass to start the year. That's not unusual since Brees has been here. Good catch by Fleener for a very short gain. He got belted back immediately by Sean Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon's interesting. He was a really good Atlanta Falcon. He hurt his Achilles tendon. Then he went to Arizona, had hamstring problems last year, and with the injuries that they had at linebacker, they're glad they re-signed Sean Weatherspoon, a former first-round pick. Nice play.
Playing without Devondre Campbell, a rookie out of Minnesota, who would be a linebacker starter. He's out with an injury, an ankle. Fleener couldn't hang on. Incomplete pass.
Fleener dropped the ball last week against the Giants on 3rd and 5. And you got to match score for score with the defense struggling the way they are. Catch it and put it away. There's the first-round pick, Keanu Neal, out of Florida, with a good break on the ball, but Fleener's got to secure the catch.
Thomas Morstead having another great season. 8-year veteran, all with the Saints. He went down after the punt, and Pete Morelli's thrown the flag. The punt went out of bounds
Personal
inside
foul.
the 10.
Roughing the kicker, number 41, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's the second time Philip Wheeler has been flagged for a personal foul. He had a late hit on Drew Brees earlier, and this is a poor penalty on the Falcons. I don't think it was Wheeler.
No, they announced 41, but it was definitely number 16, Justin Hardy, who hit Morstead.
Justin Hardy, a wide receiver, contributing on special teams. And in this situation, don't be surprised if the Saints take a shot. Sudden change over the years. Sean Payton loves to dial them up and try to get some momentum back in this offense.
Line of scrimmage, the Atlanta 46. Four-man rush. They didn't get close to Brees. Ingram to the 39-yard line, taken down by Deion Jones, and then tempers flaring after the play.
These teams hate each other. They've hated each other for a long time. The NFC South, the conference has taken roots in New Orleans. If they can win tonight, they're tied for first with everyone.
Yeah, the entire division would be 1-2 if the Saints win tonight. 8-yard gain on first down. Tim Hightower. Great effort. And the crowd loves it. First down inside the 35. Powerful run by Hightower. Missed 3 years with knee injuries. There's a look at the standings entering tonight. Buccaneers 1-2. They lost at home to the Rams yesterday. The Panthers 1-2. Lost at home to the Vikings yesterday. Saints 0-2, but those 2 losses by a total of 4 points. By 1 to Oakland, by 3 to the Giants. Brees' pass batted down.
It's what you have to do if you can't get there. That's the one Achilles heel that Brees has had over the years. He's had a lot of balls batted down. And when you know you're not going to get there, there's Tyson Jackson, number 94. Stick that long arm up and reject it. Nice work.
Brees just 6 feet tall. That might be slightly generous. Cadet and Ingram in the backfield now. It's Ingram on the delay. Cadet, a nice block for him. They try to rip the ball out, but can't, and it's a first down to the 18-yard line. Robert Alford tried to wrestle the ball out. He settled for wrestling Ingram down. It's a 17-yard pickup.
It's another draw play. And when you can lure the defensive line one way and get the underneath coverage going back in coverage, there's some natural seams. But the Oakland Raiders ripped Atlanta last week with draw plays, and Sean Payton and Ingram are ripping the Falcons with draw plays again this week.
Not often you can say the Saints have more rushing yards than pass yards, but that's the case right now. Brees has it batted down again.
That's all we used to tell our defensive linemen. We played against Drew Brees twice a year. He's a hard man to sack. They know how to protect him. But if you can't get there, you have to find a way to reject a few balls. And that's a nice job by number 90, Derek Shelby, the ex-Miami Dolphin.
First year with Atlanta as a free agent. Babineau got some pressure as well. Looked like he was being held. 2nd and 10. Under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Brees the quick pop. Brandon Cooks a yard short of the first down. Another tackle by Deion Jones.
Boy, the ball comes out so fast. He's so quick to recognize coverages, and he processes information so fast, and the ball comes out even quicker. Here they come.
Brees, some options. First down to the 3-yard line. Brandon Coleman. Looked like Drew had a couple of guys he could have thrown it to there. First and goal, the Saints looking for a tying score.
I like our debate as well as any other debate going on. These two quarterbacks, outstanding at what they do. Total command of their offenses, their quarterbacks that have autonomy to make decisions in any situation. Keep an eye on number 16 at the top of the screen, 6'5", Brandon Coleman.
12th play of the drive. Brees, the quick slant, and a touchdown for New Orleans.
Hard to stop that. You put the 6'5" Coleman on the line of scrimmage as a lead blocker, and you throw a bullet slant right behind him. And Michael Thomas, the rookie out of Ohio State, continues to make great progress.
His first career touchdown. They're delighted with his performance so far. He caught 10 passes over the first 2 games. And now Will Lutz on to tie the game. It's 14 apiece. Thomas is going to keep that ball. He's the nephew of Keyshawn Johnson. Steve Gleason's iconic 2006 punt block captured on canvas by local artist, the legend, the painter Frenchie, Randy Frechette. He specializes in capturing the images of New Orleans. And boy, does he do great work. Originally from Lowell, Massachusetts, but I think he left his Boston accent on the banks of the Merrimack River. He speaks like a local down here in New Orleans. He's been here a long time.
I love Frenchie. Stuff's expensive, Sean.
It is?
Yes, it is.
So if I asked him to come up here and paint a canvas of us in the booth, might be a little out of my price range?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Can I borrow money from you?
No, you can't.
This was yesterday. Frenchie working on that recreation of Steve Gleason's punt block, and that's Rivers Gleason, Steve's 4-year-old son. Steve and Michelle were there with Rivers yesterday to witness the completion of that painting. Like, how much would one of those set us back?
I'm not going to guess, but it's
a lot.
A couple $1,000s for you.
Well, we just mentioned Frenchie. Might have driven some business to him. So anyway, there are rules against that. From the 25, Matt Ryan trying to set up a screen. Kevin Coleman zips ahead for about 7. He caught 2 passes all of last year. He came into today 3rd in the league in running back catches through 2 weeks.
I would not want to be Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator of the Saints. So many injured players. Defensive linemen, linebackers, corners. And you see Matt Ryan in a no-huddle offense with an array of talent.
Ryan incomplete for Julio Jones, who still has not caught a ball tonight. And they are demonstrating that they're more than Ryan, Jones, and Freeman this season.
3rd down. This is a man-to-man situation. And if you look out on that field, number 28 has just checked in for the Saints. B.W. Webb, an emergency corner they just picked up. They already have Sterling Moore, who they brought in September 6th. Crowley is a rookie, undrafted free agent. Good luck.
Without Kenny Vaccaro tonight, would be a starting safety. Out with a foot injury. Ryan steps up, takes off running, and has the first down. Needed to cross the 35 and did. James Laurinaitis chased him to the ground. They give him the 36.
It's a great job by Matt Ryan. They're showing a blitz, and they're going to bail out of there. Matt Ryan gets fooled. It's a zone coverage, and he decisively put the ball down and got the first down in a 3rd and short situation. It's an element of Ryan I haven't seen much before. He's using his legs more than he ever has.
4-yard gain. And the Saints crowd the line of scrimmage, and Devontae Freeman runs right through them. Then the safety Bird stumbled and managed to get back into the play and make the tackle. But it's a long run for Freeman for Coach Dan Quinn. 36 yards.
This total domination. It's a zone stretch play. Left side of your screen. Take a look at Jarris Bird, number 31. He's going to stumble in the open field. And Devontae Freeman rips him.
Second longest run of his career for Freeman. Bird still down on the field for the Saints. Jairus Byrd has battled injuries during his time here in New Orleans. He's on the sideline, but appears to be all right. 1st and 10 Falcons trying to reclaim the lead. They're at the New Orleans 28 in a 14-14 tie. Freeman chopped down by Nick Fairley, shy of the 20-yard line.
These injuries take a toll, but credit the Atlanta Falcons. They are taking it to the Saints physically, especially the left side. Levitri at left guard, Matthews at left tackle, and Alex Mack are going to work.
Play fake to Freeman, and the ball was dropped and then almost intercepted. Mohamed Sanu got one hand on it, went off that hand and onto the fingertips of Roman Harper, but the veteran safety couldn't hang on.
Just a bad throw by Matt Ryan. Tip balls in traffic are a problem. Surprised Harper didn't come up with that. 3rd down and 4. Can this young, inexperienced secondary of the Saints rise to the occasion?
Five-man rush, and the catch made for a first down. It's Sanu, dragged down by Sterling Moore.
Mohamed Sanu is tough. Again, it's an all-out blitz look. It looks like the Saints are bringing a house, but they're going to bail out of there and play coverage again. Ryan is quick to see it. And Mohamed Sanu creates enough separation against Sterling Moore for the first down.
They revamped their wide receiver core, trying to get more speed. They brought Sanu over from Cincinnati. He, Taylor Gabriel, and Aldrick Robinson are all newcomers. Roddy White, Leonard Hankerson, Devin Hester all gone. Freeman, great balance, and he can't get to the first down marker. Had to dodge Paul Kruger. Couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage, I should say. It's a nice duo of running backs they have in Freeman and Coleman, and Kyle Shanahan's played them together from time to time.
Yeah, you've seen DeMarco, a fullback, play ahead of one of these two backs, but Kyle Shanahan using Freeman and Coleman in the same backfield at times. I think that's a great move when you have talented, versatile backs like those two.
They combined for 164 total yards last week in the win at Oakland. 2nd and 12. Here's Sanu. Right down the numbers and almost into the end zone. 1st and goal, Atlanta. At the 2-yard line, Von Bell saved the touchdown, a gain of 16.
Just what they did on the opening possession. They're playing a zone coverage. It's just a quick screen to Sanu. Nice block by Tammy. You see that athletic offensive line block the second level, and these quick screens are hurting New Orleans.
Talked with Matt Ryan yesterday about Sanu. He said the first thing I noticed when he joined us is he's a lot bigger than I remember playing against him. He's every bit of 6'2", 210. Ryan throwing the fade for Julio Jones. Ken Crawley all over him. Pass interference.
I don't agree with these calls. I don't know what you want Ken Crawley to do.
Well, the officials conferring.
It's over his head.
Or was it catchable is a question.
Julio's got a hand. Their hands are all over each other, and hopefully this is a no call.
It was catchable if you're a photographer.
There's no foul on the play for defensive pass interference. 2nd down.
Sean Payton can't believe his eyes. All the injuries that he's had. I don't think he expected Ken Crawley to be out here covering Julio Jones, but this is a tough game, and you have to deal with a lot of doses of adversity. Having a lot of inexperience playing together this early in the season is one of them.
Even with all the injuries, they played well last week against the New York Giants. The Giants did not have an offensive touchdown against the Saints in a 16-13 New York win. Their one touchdown was on a blocked field goal return. Ryan, inside handoff. Tevin Coleman, touchdown Atlanta.
Same play they ran earlier. That was an impressive drive by Atlanta. I don't even think they blocked Paul Kruger. Almost looked like a zone read. Watch Kruger on the left side of the formation, unblocked. I hope Kyle Shanahan's not running zone reads with Matt Ryan. Impressive finishing drive for the Falcon offense. They look good tonight.
75 yards in 11 plays, and Coleman is second rushing touchdown of the night. Matt Bryant, at age 41, the third oldest player in the league. Two older than Bryant are both kickers as well. Adam Vinatieri, 43. The oldest in the league, Phil Dawson's 41.
Welcome back to the Superdome in New Orleans, where this same matchup between the Saints and Falcons occurred almost 10 years ago to the day. But back then it was more than just another Week 3 football game. On that Monday night, what happened in this building helped this city and this team announce to the world that New Orleans was once again ready to let the good times roll. Just a year earlier, the Superdome had looked like this. 35,000 evacuees took refuge here from Hurricane Katrina, despite the fact that the dome had no air conditioning, no running water, and just limited power. For too many of those evacuees, the Superdome became a hell on earth, but it was all they had. The damage left behind was so severe that many thought that this iconic building that had hosted some of the greatest moments in sports history had perhaps seen its last great play, and that perhaps the Saints would be forced to find another home in another city. But after $336 million in renovations and the year-long tireless efforts of 800 construction workers, engineers, and architects, the stage was set. New Orleans would get its dome, sweet dome back. And what better way to celebrate than under the bright lights of Monday Night Football? Sean?
One of the most memorable nights for sure in the 47-year history of Monday Night Football. One of the most important days in the history of this city. Matt Bosher's kickoff, a touchback. So many people in this community, John, said if the Saints can come back, a lot of people thought we'd never be in this building again. I mean, it was a mess. People died in here, and there was tremendous damage to this building. But a lot of the people in this community have pointed to the Saints that they can come back. We can come back. We can rebuild. They thought they were going to lose this team.
Yeah, when they started winning, it united this whole city. And everybody came together, and it was awesome. And football is a strange game, but the Saints really helped reunite this whole city.
Yes, it helped that it was the first game in this building for both Drew Brees and Sean Payton. And they've had a lot to do with the winning that has taken place since they arrived. Brees' pass low for Brandon Cooks. He's thrown a couple of wobblers tonight.
You just get the feeling looking at head coach Sean Payton that they have to score a touchdown every single time they get the ball. Every year you're a head coach, the mission changes, but this might be the toughest mission of Sean Payton's career.
They're going to have to match the Falcons, it seems, score for score. Atlanta has scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions. Draw, good call. And a nifty run by Tim Hightower. Sean Payton wasn't even sure he dressed tonight as he was pondering the inactives. He has so many injured players. Everybody who's down tonight for New Orleans is injured.
Another draw play. They fake a quick screen, they spread the formation, and that's a nice open field run by Hightower. You see the safety man, 37, Ricardo Allen, struggle.
11-yard gain. They stick with the run. Hightower yanked down at the 41-yard line by Kamal Ishmael and Sean Weatherspoon.
I like Hightower. You said earlier he came back from some tough injuries, but last year Mark Ingram was hurt the last 4 weeks, and you turn on the film and Hightower did it all. Very productive runner and receiver. He can pick up some blitzes, and a great story.
The University of Richmond. Brees caught. Brandon Coleman tried to deliver a stiff arm, but could not get away. Kamal Ishmael, 9-yard gain.
Keep an eye on Tommy Lee Lewis, number 87. They call him Tommy Lee the Flea. He's 5'6", and what a story he is. Sean Payton discovered him from his old friend Bill Parcells. He's at the bottom of the screen, and this man can run.
Bill Parcells living in South Florida. That's where Tommy Lee Lewis is from. He's out of Northern Illinois. They get it to him on a double reverse, trying to take advantage of his speed. A lot of razzle-dazzle, but very little gain. But Bill Parcells knew this young man, told Sean Payton, why don't you take a look at him I think at the very least he could be on your practice squad. Well, he came into camp and dazzled to the point where Sean Payton told us yesterday, if I tried to cut him, I would have a mutiny among the players on my team.
I love guys like that. Sean said Tommy Lee has no plan B. Football is all he wants to do. Credit him for making it in the NFL.
Bill also gave Bill Belichick a nod on Jacoby Brissett, and that's worked out pretty well for the Patriots. There's Cadet ripped down by Sean Weatherspoon. There's a nice scene last week in the locker room in the Meadowlands. Bill Parcells was back for a ceremony honoring the Giants team from years ago, and he had a chance to stop by the Saints locker room before the game and visit Tommy Lee Lewis. I know Tommy Lee appreciates the role that Bill Parcells has played in his long shot journey to the National Football League.
I just love the way Sean Payton, he'll play anybody. If they deserve it, he'll play them. A lot of these Saints come from nowhere, and he doesn't care. He'll play the best players. It's a credit to him.
3rd and 14. Saints down by a score from their own 46. Here's Tommy Lee again. Great effort. Didn't get to the first down. Tommy Lee Lewis is a good pal of Jacoby Brissett. How about the story Coach Payton told us as well? They went to NC State, to Brissett School, to work out Jacoby. And when they got there, Tommy Lee Lewis was there hanging out. And he was going to work out for the Saints as well. And Sean Payton said we had to call the NFL and make sure we didn't commit some sort of violation working out a young man off his campus. The NFL said that's okay. We're not even really aware of him as a prospect. Here he is in the NFL.
This is.
The punt did not get off before the 2-minute warning. Let's take a look at the numbers for these two CEO quarterbacks, as Coach Gruden calls them, Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, at the 2-minute warning. Not big yardage totals. As we mentioned, they've each averaged more than 300 yards per game passing against the other team.
They've run the ball. Both these teams have been impressive running the football, and both quarterbacks have been efficient. You got to keep an eye on the fake right here if you're Atlanta. Sean Payton has been known to try to steal a possession. His defense clearly struggling. I saw the Redskins fake a punt in similar field position yesterday that helped them win a game. Watch the fake.
Very nice, subtle way to say something nice about your brother. Congratulations to Jay Gruden and the Redskins on the win yesterday. Big win. Morstead's punt will be downed near the 12-yard line.
During the kick, holding, number 81 of the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
So the field position a bit poor for Matt Ryan and Atlanta. Coming up on the Toyota halftime report, Chris Berman's final drive. Look back at some of the exciting action from the weekend. The gentlemen of First Take, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, on this debate night. We'll talk about the Broncos and the Patriots, two of the 5 3-0 teams in the National Football League, and we'll get an injury update on Russell Wilson. Injured his knee yesterday.
Good to see Jarris Byrd back in the game at free safety for the Saints. Got hurt on the previous possession. They need Byrd to intercept the pass. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler coming over here from Buffalo. He hasn't made any memorable plays since he's been in New Orleans.
Ryan from the 6 slings it to the far sideline. Devontae Freeman just across the 10 with Stephon Anthony in coverage. There is a flag down behind the line of scrimmage.
There's foul on the play.
I believe he said there is no flag on the play.
Second time they've picked up a flag. And
Steve Morelli there sounded like a couple of members of our crew coming back from the Beyonce concert in the Dome here on Saturday night. I heard she was excellent. We were busy studying with great intensity for tonight's game. All 3 timeouts remaining for both teams. The check down again. Ryan to Freeman. out of bounds, a couple of yards short of the first down. Craig Robertson's been very active. Former Cleveland Brown, fifth-year man out of North Texas.
Craig Robertson not only leads the Saints in tackles, he leads the NFL in tackles after 2 weeks. But the Saints just can't get a pass rush with 4 men. And when they blitz and play man-to-man, their coverage people are so inexperienced, you can't expect a lot from them. But in this short yardage situation, it looks like man-to-man.
Big play here. Can they force a 3 and out? The Saints and get the ball back with good field position and plenty of time till the half. 4-man rush. Ryan throwing very deep and incomplete. Ken Crawley with a flag down had the coverage on Taylor Gabriel.
Perhaps Crowley pushed Gabriel out of bounds, but Ryan saw the press man coverage and he went right after
Pass
the rookie.
interference, number 46. Defense, automatic, first down.
Gabriel can run. The ex-Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
That's a huge penalty against the Saints.
That's clearly pass interference. The ball comes out to the 39. Now the Falcons thinking about more points. 25 yards on the penalty. 3-man rush. Ryan steps into the pocket and fires a frozen rope for another first down to Justin Hardy inside the 40-yard line of New Orleans.
Wow, a 3-man rush. 8 Saints in coverage. And the seam wide open down the middle.
22-yard gain. Ryan told us yesterday he's never thrown the ball better. That was an example of it. He's on target again to the 25. Another first down. And now the Falcons, they keep running to the ball, but they have plenty of time here, John. More than a minute and all their timeouts.
I just can't get over the ball distribution. I don't think Julio Jones has caught a pass yet.
He has 1 catch. That was a 14-yard completion to Gabriel. Now it's Coleman. Submarine. Does he cross the 20? Craig Robertson in on another stop.
And a touchdown here looms large because Dan Quinn and his Falcons get the ball to start the third quarter.
Timeout. Coach, you were correct. Julio Jones does not have a catch tonight. They had him on the official stats monitor as 1 catch for 11 yards. That is incorrect. Targeted only 3 times, but they're prospering without him.
It's unbelievable. If you're going to go to all this work to stop Julio Jones, you're in trouble this year against the Falcons because they have some other weapons.
5 plays on this drive, all completed passes by Ryan. They started at their own 6. Now they're inside the 10. Jacob Tamme upended by Jairus Byrd at the 5-yard line. First and goal for New Orleans. The clock is running. They have all 3. They have 2 timeouts rather remaining. They're on this drive without Mohamed Sanu, who a moment ago went to the locker room with what we understand is a shoulder injury.
Matt Ryan in year 2 of this system looks like a different quarterback. He's even changed his fundamentals, Sean. If you watch him carefully in the shotgun, now he's got his right foot back. He's had to learn a new language. He threw 16 interceptions. He had too many fumbles. Him and Kyle Shanahan weren't getting along. I heard all that stuff. Hey, he's very comfortable now. He likes this offense. He's using all 5 eligibles. He's in a no-huddle offense. They're using personnel groupings. Look at his eyes.
Well, he's always been an impressive guy. All those years doing college football games, John met with a lot of college football players. He was one of the most impressive when he was at Boston College, walking into the meeting room.
You know, when Miami took Jake Long instead of Matt Ryan, that was the end of me.
And to some people in Miami, too. Fade. There's Julio. Was he in bounds? No. Ken Crawley in coverage.
Ken Crawley. Give the man credit. You got to have amnesia. It's a long game. Anything can happen when you have Drew Brees on your team. Just get one stop. Left foot on the line. Atlanta continues to spread their formations out inside the 5, and it gives Matt Ryan a chance to look at the best matchup possible.
2nd and goal from the 4. 31 seconds to go until the half. Atlanta already leading by 7. Shovel pass. Lunging for the end zone, Justin Hardy. No signal yet from the officials. It's a touchdown, and they're ruling him down. Shy of the goal line, and now Atlanta needs to use a timeout, you would think.
They've been running that play for years in Atlanta.
Well, the clock runs all the way down to 9 seconds.
I thought he was in.
Yeah, I don't think he's down. He's on top of a player who's lying on the field, and the ball clearly breaks the plane.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah, that is a touchdown.
The old shovel pass that Kyle Shanahan pulled out of the archives should be reversed. Hardy, who caught a ricochet touchdown last week against the Raiders.
You know they're looking at this. It is an official review inside of 2 minutes to go in the half. Back in a moment. Dan Quinn, Sean Payton awaiting the ruling, and here comes Pete Morelli.
After reviewing the play, the runner scored. It is a touchdown. Please set the game clock to 28 seconds.
It's good traffic running by Hardy. Clearly a touchdown. Impressive 90-plus yard drive to finish the half.
Well, here's Matt Bryant. The extra point after a 94-yard drive. 8 plays, just 1:42 minutes. They started their own 6. They converted on 3rd down on a pass interference call. And Hardy has the 2nd touchdown of his career. Atlanta has scored a touchdown on its last 4 possessions. Hardy out of East Carolina. Speaking of college football, week 5 marks the first time since 2002 that there'll be 3 AP top 10 matchups, and we'll have all of them for you starting Friday night at 9 Eastern time on ESPN. Stanford and Washington. And then Saturday on ABC, Wisconsin off to a great start at the Big House to battle number 4 Michigan. And then at 8, number 3 Louisville faces off with number 5 Clemson. All of those teams with national championship aspirations. And all 3 games streaming live on ESPN app and watch ESPN. Your old school Tennessee had a rousing win.
Thanks for bringing that up. That was big. They got a big one this week at Georgia too, but just amazed at how easy the Falcons have made it look offensively.
The 94th meeting between these 2 teams all time, and 28 points matches the most Atlanta has ever scored in the first half against New Orleans. They scored 28 back in 1969 with Bob Berry as their quarterback. Bosher's kickoff, a touchback. There is some time. 28 seconds and 1 timeout for Drew Brees.
Credit to Drew Brees, Sean Payton. They're so positive. They're so patient. And there's so much pressure on them every time they get the ball to score touchdowns. I don't know how they do it with the struggles that they've had defensively the last few seasons. Injuries is an understatement. They are really undermanned on the other side of the ball, and there's only so much you can do.
Atlanta dropping back into deep coverage. They don't want to give up anything deep down the field, and Tommy Lee Lewis could not make the catch.
Look out in that Falcon lineup right now. I call this the green team. This is the money pass rushers. Beasley, number 44. Love to see him get off and get some production.
Moved him from defensive end to strong side linebacker this year, hoping that might help. Breeze under duress. Threw a wobbler over the middle in the direction of Kobe Fleener. And there was Vic Beasley right on cue, coach, with a little pressure on Breeze.
Speed. And you know who the mentor is for Vic Beasley? It's Dwight Freeney, number 93, 119 and a half career sacks. He's a pro, Sean. He walks around the facility, studying his iPad. He's teaching young Vic Beasley some tricks. I like that, bringing in a veteran, future Hall of Famer to help your young first-round pick, Vic Beasley.
Coach Freeney would have to be a great student, given that he came out of the Harvard of Central New York, Syracuse University. There's Stanford man Kobe Fleener. And Drew Brees will use the Saints' last time out with 17 seconds to go as Fleener got them all the way to the Atlanta 43.
Well, it's that all-go special. 3 receivers running vertical, and Fleener's going to run right down the seam with 2 men outside of him running up the field. And the free safety, Ricardo Allen, he cheated to the wide side of the field, and that's too easy. I don't know anybody that's thrown more seam passes in the history of the world than Drew Brees. They throw that route, the triple seam, I call it. 3 guys going vertical on one side of the formation, as much and well as anybody I've ever seen. I got a great clinic reel of that, Sean. I'll show it to you in the offseason.
I think I'm busy. It's always fun to watch film with you, Coach. No timeouts left. It'll be a long field goal here, 60-yarder, but Will Lutz has a very strong leg. Breeze, high throw off the hands of Cooks, and then almost intercepted. Desmond Trufant had the coverage. Ricardo Allen went diving after it and could not snare it.
The only thing you don't like about Cooks is he's not the biggest receiver, and that wingspan sometimes makes it difficult on these down the field throws. Cooks has been a great pro. He's the leader now of this receiving corps, and with just a couple seconds left, will Drew Brees let it rip?
Waiting in the middle of the field is probably going to end the half. Intended for Fleener. Let's see what Sean Payton decides to do. He had Lutz try a 61-yarder at the end of the game against Oakland when they were down by 1. He almost made it. It had the leg. The special teams guys want to see Will give it a try.
It's a situation you work on late in the week every week. You're going to try to throw the ball in the flat, perhaps with a lead blocker, where you get the quick catch and the run out of bounds. And if it's not there, throw it away immediately and kick the bomb. Expect a quick pass down here at the bottom of the screen.
We need to get it out of bounds. Cooks, well, they pick up a couple. Turn a 60-yard try into a 57-yard try. And Sean Payton loves Will Lutz. He was in training camp with the Baltimore Ravens. But of course, they have Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers in the league. They played the Ravens at the end of the preseason. John Harbaugh told Sean Payton on the field before the game, hey, we have a terrific kicker who we're not going to be able to keep. So Sean Payton Googled Lutz's performances from Georgia State. They brought him in for a workout. Sean said it was the best kicker workout he's ever seen, both in terms of the leg talent and his composure. And here he is from 57 yards. Thank you very much, John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh never recommended players to me. What a kick by the young man Lutz. Good snap. Morstead gets it down, and you called it. This man has some leg talent.
Sean Payton said, I never heard of this young man, but he'll be kicking long after I'm retired from coaching. A little bit of a boost as they head to the locker room. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Always a treat to have Monday Night Football come from the Superdome, site of so much football history, not the least of which was that Monday night game you've been talking about 10 years ago between these two teams, the reopening a year after Katrina. Welcome to halftime. We would be remiss if we didn't offer our condolences, all of us at ESPN, to the family of Arnold Palmer, who we lost just 24 hours ago at the age of 87. He was a gentleman and everyman in the true sense of the word. As a young man, he took golf from the sports pages to the front page. He truly was the king. Fitting perhaps, the marquee NFL game yesterday pitted the two teams from Arnie's native Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. Both were 2-0. Here we go with our final drive. And as a young man, Big Ben Roethlisberger helped the Steelers become NFL kings again. One day, Carson Wentz may do the same for the Eagles. Yesterday, Wentz immense. From whence he came, to Darren Sproles. Whoop! And then Sprolesy. Whoop! Whoop! That's a big gain of 73 yards. The Eagles with a big lead. Fletcher Cox and the Eagles all over Big Ben, Philly. Hey, the last time they lost at home to Pittsburgh, 1965 at Franklin Field. Denver's defense, they made life miserable for Andy Dalton. Trevor Siemian, not one, not two, not three, but 4 touchdown passes to the rookie. Denver, 3-0, they win at Cincinnati. The Minnesota Vikings played some defense. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 sacks of Cam Newton. Everson Griffin had 3. The Vikings are 3-0. We say 8. Kansas City got 8 turnovers against Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Jets, 6 of them picks. The Chiefs are 2-1. Harbaugh's heroes in Baltimore. A week ago, they block an extra point to turn a game around. They block a late field goal, setting up a chance for them to win it on a field goal. They're 3-0. They win at Jacksonville 1917. Did you hear that Norman and Beckham were giving each other a lift? But the biggest pass play of the game for Washington. Tress Way, fake punt. Quinton Dunbar, big play. Washington at the Giants. And then Dunbar, look ma, one hand with a big pick. The Redskins, they win for the first time. One-handed grabs, Doug Baldwin, Seahawks. One-handed grabs, Derek Carr. Yes, he grabbed the flag with one hand for Oakland. Terrell Pryor, he threw it. He caught it. He ran it. The first player to do it 3 times or more in those categories since 1964. Billy Kilmer of the San Francisco 49ers. Bad news, Pryor's efforts almost got the Browns their first win, but they lost in overtime in Miami. If Pryor were to start a quarterback next week due to another Cleveland QB injury, that would make 6 different starters in their last 6 games. If. Maybe Billy Kilmer should stay by the phone just in case. At the other end of the spectrum, in the AFC, Denver and New England are 3-0. Same as it ever was. The First Take crew weighs in when we return in 45 seconds.
The fact that the Superdome had really been a refugee camp of sorts for a couple months prior to that, and the amount of work that needed to be done to get the Superdome back to where it could host football games again, but just what it symbolized and what it represented. It meant that New Orleans not only was coming back, but they were coming back stronger. What a tremendous moment for all of us, and from the Gleason block punt to Devery Henderson running around on the reverse, we called it Superdome special, to just winning that game, we knew what a special moment that was.
Indeed it was. 10 years and 1 day ago, the return of football and the Saints to the Superdome 13 months after Katrina. Same matchup tonight, Falcons and Saints, and it's 28-17 Atlanta at the half. Drew Brees has become such an important part of this community. He's the leader of the Saints, and we've seen tonight not a lot of help around him, particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
No help, really. And you have to credit Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints are depleted on defense, are taking advantage of it. Julio Jones has no catches. The ball distribution has been awesome, and they've thrown some beautiful screen passes with great design.
Indeed they have. Atlanta will get the football first here in the second half. Late field goal just before the half perhaps gave the Saints a little bit of life in their step. Kobe Fleener has been much more of a factor than in the first 2 games, and that's good news as well for New Orleans. Will Lutz to kick off. It was his 57-yard field goal that sent them to the locker room. He did a lot of work while he was with the Ravens with Randy Brown, their kicking specialist, and their great special teams coach Jerry Rosberg. He's very grateful to them, as well as John Harbaugh, for giving him that opportunity. As a matter of fact, Will Lutz told them if they made another team, he'd send them a refrigerator, and he did. He sent Jerry Rosberg a refrigerator to keep the Pepsis cool.
They made it look easy in the first half. They used a lot of different people. Here's a beautiful screen to Devontae Freeman. Left tackle Matthews blocks Robertson, who's covering Matthews. That's too easy. And then Mohamed Sanu against this soft cover, too, with linemen out front. So walk in the park for the Falcons. Then it's a shovel pass. They fake the toss to Tevin Coleman. There's Justin Hardy taking it to pay dirt. A lot of different contributors. Beautiful perimeter screen game by Atlanta.
From the 25, play fake to Devontae Freeman. Ryan dodging all the traffic, now finds Freeman. And a big gainer to start the half. Out to midfield goes the former Florida State Seminole Devontae Freeman, run down by Craig Robertson.
Well, it's a three-man rush. There is no rush. Four-man rush. I don't know if it is a rush. And Ryan has all day to find his check down receiver. There's three levels of your defense. There's level one, which is the D-line, and level two, the linebackers, and level three is the secondary, and all three levels are getting leveled for New Orleans.
26-yard gain on the opening play of the half. Another play fake and a pass incomplete for Julio Jones, thrown behind him. With Ken Crawley in coverage, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, Julio Jones told me yesterday that he might not catch a pass in the entire first half, and he said, I'd be cool with that as long as I'm doing my job, and that is drawing two defenders away from the play. Dan Quinn told me that's exactly what is happening, and that the Falcons are at their best when other guys are getting the ball. But he said, don't worry, we are going to get the ball to Julio in the second half. Sean?
On the ground this time, Freeman for a yard, and that's all. Robertson and Cameron Jordan.
Talked about ball distribution coming in here, and 7 different receivers, and you don't see Julio Jones with any catches. And I can't imagine Julio being upset when you score 28 points in the first half on the road in a must-win situation. Key 3rd down and 9 for this Saint defense. They have to get the ball back to Drew Brees.
It's the 4th time in his 8-year career Jones has played an entire first half without a catch. 3rd and 9. 4-man rush. And the pass caught short of the first down. Von Bell made the tackle on Devontae Freeman.
No hesitation, Sean. 4th and 1. Dan Quinn says, let's go for it. Here comes the heavy artillery. DeMarco at fullback. Look at the size of this tight end, Toy Lolo, number 80. We're going to take it right to New Orleans to start the second half.
Ryan wide open after the fake to Coleman, out in the flat inside the 10. Jairus Byrd prevented the touchdown.
What a call by Kyle Shanahan on 4th and 1. They slipped the tailback Tevin Coleman into the flat, and the Saints didn't cover him. Beautiful design, and New Orleans blows a coverage, and once again Atlanta knocking on the door. Gutty call.
And a 34-yard gain. Every time the Saints defense has a chance to make a big play, it cannot. Coleman already has 2 rushing touchdowns, and that's a walk-in for his 3rd.
That's embarrassing. Just a simple inside handoff. The ball bounces to the perimeter, and there's no one home. Look at Gabriel, number 18, cracked the safety. You see Sterling Moore, number 24. They call it an old-fashioned crack and replace. Moore has to come off and make that tackle. Wow.
Bryant adds the extra point. Tevin Coleman had 3 career touchdowns, 2 career touchdowns prior to tonight. He has 3 tonight. Touchdowns in their last 5 possessions for the Atlanta Falcons, and they've taken an 18-point lead.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Number 99, the defense. The 15-yard penalty would be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
Paul Kruger called for the penalty. Big night for for Tevin Coleman, the second-year man out of Indiana. Whistle monster here tonight among the Saints fans, some of the loudest and most passionate in the National Football League, but not a lot to celebrate for these colorful fans, many of whom have become some of the stars of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. After the penalty to kick off from Bosher from the 50, and he sent it over everything behind the uprights.
Well, Drew Brees had a good first half. They had balance. They scored 17 points, almost 200 yards of offense. They got it going early with Coby Fleener, and then Brandon Cooks set up a short touchdown pass to Michael Thomas right before the half. Coby Fleener set up a long-range field goal, but they're down 18 points. Got to score every possession if you're Drew Brees and the Saints to have a chance.
Brees on the design roll, too low. Caught on a bounce by Michael Thomas. Incomplete pass.
This is where, if you're head coach Dan Quinn of the Falcons, you want to be. You have an 18-point lead in a nice air-conditioned a dome stadium, the Superdome. You want to cut loose your pass rush. They've got to throw the football, and this is the area that the Falcons need to prove they're for real, up front.
Ingram did well to dodge Jonathan Babineau, who's upset with himself that he didn't make a tackle for a loss. The play went for a 3-yard gain, 3rd down and 7 for New Orleans.
Let's keep an eye on Dwight Freeney. He's going to play right defensive end and go up against a backup left tackle, Andrus Peat. Can he still get off the ball and ruin the game?
Timeout, New Orleans. First team timeout, 30-second timeout.
To the chagrin of this big crowd. Now, how do you think they've done? We talked at the top of the telecast. Atlanta, last in the league in sacks last year, only 1 sack entering tonight through 2 games, and still just 1 sack. Have they put pressure on Brees?
Well, I've seen him get a little pressure. They batted down 2 passes. The ball has been coming out very quick, and Brees has used the draw play to slow the pass rush down. But now they're down 18 points, and it's long yardage situation. He's going to have to drop back and throw the football, and I can't wait to say Freeney at the bottom of the screen and Vic Beasley, their second-year, former first-round pass rusher at the top of the screen. This is what they're paid to do.
No pressure at all. Brees lofts one, 1st down. Big play for the Saints, who really needed one. They got it from Michael Thomas to the Atlanta 47 for a 25-yard pickup.
That's great design. They nudge both pass rushers with tight ends, and it gives Brees enough time to make a pinpoint throw. Nice catch by Thomas, who's really showed up tonight.
Second catch of the night for the rookie. His first went for a touchdown. On the draw, Ingram pulled down by Jonathan Babineau at the 44-yard line. We talked to Babineau about this Atlanta team last night, Coach, and he said he's been here a long time, 12 years. This is one of the closest Atlanta teams that he's played on. He said last year wasn't always a lot of camaraderie within the ranks.
Well, Coach Quinn brought in the Navy SEALs in the offseason program. They taught him a thing or two about team unity.
Brees, open receiver, and a 1st down to the 20-yard line. Travaris Cadet, 1st down.
Making it look easy on this side of the ball as well. Just a flat and up by Cadet, and he fools Weatherspoon badly. Ball slightly underthrown. Nice adjustment by Cadet, who really is a good receiving back.
Fifth-year player out of Appalachian State. Was with New Orleans, went to New England and San Francisco last year, and is now back with the Saints. On 1st and 10 from the 19, a bullet thrown by Breeze for another first down. Brandon Coleman with great effort at the end of the play. 1st and goal for Sean Payton and New Orleans.
Sean Payton and Drew Brees, unbelievable. The production that they have had throwing the football together is startling. No matter what the score, they're going to move the ball, stay in it until the end.
Breeze caught. Was Thomas down? Apparently not. It looked like his knee might have been down when he first caught it. But for now, at least, they'll give him the 2nd and goal.
Thomas has no fear. Watch him come inside on this slant route. Physical. North-south finisher. Michael Thomas, who led the Ohio State Buckeyes in receiving 2 straight seasons. A very good 2nd-round pick for New Orleans.
It looked like he went down. Back by the 5. Shovel pass to Ingram. And he's dropped for a loss by Vic Beasley.
The same play Atlanta scored on with Justin Hardy right before the half, and it did not fool Vic Beasley. Going to fake the toss and flip it to Ingram, and there's Vic Beasley.
Ingram comes off the field. On 3rd and goal. That's the first tackle tonight, by the way, credited to Vic Beasley, who did not have a tackle in their opener. John Kuhn, the fullback, gets the call for the New Orleans touchdown.
John Kuhn, the ex-Green Bay Packer, can do a lot of things. That time, Atlanta played zone coverage, and Drew Brees handed the ball right behind Max Unger, number 60. And New Orleans is going to go for 2.
Why? I mean, you kick the extra point, it's an 11-point game. 2 scores. 8 and 3 gets you tied.
Not so sure Drew Brees thinks Atlanta can stop their offense either.
Well, it's a shootout. Sean Payton and Drew Brees want every point they can get. And they had a play they liked. Mark Ingram with the 2.
Tommy Lee, the flea, came flying across the formation. They fake him the ball and flip it to Ingram. We have a ball game.
Version of the flea flicker. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters back inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 2 outstanding quarterbacks. Ryan 205 and 2 touchdowns. Brees 187 and 2 touchdown passes. Will Lutz kicks off. Setting up cover it and try to stop them short of the 25, and they do. Eric Weems dumped at the 21 by Nate Stupar. Monday Night Football continues from New Orleans after this. Well, it is a sensation that is overtaking America. Coach Gruden's formation of the week. What do you have for us this week?
I want to teach you a nudge. These wide pass rushers, Dwight Freeney, you have Vic Beasley over here. What Sean Payton does, he'll put a wide receiver or a tight end on each side of the formation, and they'll nudge these pass rushers before they release. Let me show you the video. Look at Freeney on your left. You see Fleener on your right. They're going to nudge these defensive ends before they release, and it helps the tackles pass protect. Sean Payton does a great job against pass rush specialists like Beasley and Freeney. If you're a good speed rusher, they put receivers and tight ends right next to the tackles and they nudge them. and it drives people crazy. I like to nudge you.
Matt Ryan, deep handoff. Devontae Freeman, a little bounce to the left. And a tour through the Saints defense all the way to the 42-yard line.
Wow, is this young man impressive? This ball's going to rip all the way backside. Watch him press it, cut it back. Stephon Anthony, number 50, overruns it. And here he comes again.
His 10th carry of the night. That's good for 3 more. He's up to 86 yards rushing. What a tandem Freeman and Coleman are.
And watch Matt Ryan in this no-huddle offense. He is wearing New Orleans out.
Trying to score a touchdown for the 6th consecutive possession. Ooh, not a great throw, but a nice catch on a ball behind Taylor Gabriel. Wasn't touched down, so he spun forward for about 3 more to the 36-yard line.
Just too easy.
(19-yard) completion to Gabriel. Ryan got it off, and it's nearly intercepted by Jairus Byrd.
Run these bootlegs. The end man on the line of scrimmage is often unblocked, and at times Stephon Anthony has a chance applying the pressure, and you see Jairus Byrd close in late. 2nd down and 10. The Saints need 1 stop. The only stop they've had is on the opening possession, but they fumbled. They had a fumble on the punt return. Can they muster 1 stop to give Breeze a chance?
Another play fake and another deep throw by Ryan, caught by Julio Jones. His first catch of the night, and it comes with under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Ken Crawley had the coverage.
Just a simple square in. Once again, it's Crawley, and no one covered DeMarco in the flat. And Matt Ryan is up and at him again.
16-yard gain. Toss to Coleman. He delivers a stiff arm and goes out of bounds near the 10. Chased across the boundary by James Laurinaitis. They're going to mark it back at the 11. It looks to be a yard short of the 1st down.
I love having a fullback that you can put in the game to block the edge and be a big part of these play action passes. Nice work by Patrick DeMarco at fullback.
Coleman has already rushed for 3 touchdowns tonight. He's the 2nd player in the league this year to rush for 3 touchdowns in a game. Matt Forte of the Jets did it at Buffalo. The quarterbacks tonight, Matt Ryan's thrown for 240 and Drew Brees for 187. That's 42 straight games with 200 yards plus passing for Matt Ryan, the longest current streak in the NFL and the 3rd longest in the history of the league. Dan Fouts 45 in a row in the early 80s. Drew Brees 43 straight games of 200 plus, 2011 to 13. New Orleans had an early 7-0 lead. They had momentum. They muffed a punt. The game has changed. They've offered little resistance to this Atlanta offense. Devontae Freeman down to the 6-yard line. Simet Abali made the tackle for New Orleans. The Falcons trying to put it in the end zone for the 6th consecutive drive. The last team to score a touchdown, 6 straight possessions on offense. The New England Patriots against the Bills in 2012.
They continue to line up Freeman as a wide receiver. They motion him back into the backfield to give Matt Ryan a man or zone read.
2nd and goal, Atlanta leading by 10. Ryan, the keeper. And he's down to the 3-yard line.
They are running the zone read with Matt Ryan. I'll bet that's the first time he's ever kept the ball in his 31 years on the planet on a zone read. Read the end man on a line of scrimmage, and if he closes, you keep it. I don't want Matt Ryan getting hit by Craig Robertson personally.
With everything else that's worked so well, why would you run the risk of him getting blasted?
I don't know.
Otherwise, been a masterful night of play calling by Kyle Shanahan, and work at the line of scrimmage by the 9-year veteran Matt Ryan. 3rd down and goal. 4-man rush. Ryan throws too high for the tight end Jacob Tamme with Craig Robertson in coverage. And here comes Matt Bryant in the field goal unit for Atlanta.
And it's a big stop by the Saints defense. Matt Bryant, I go way back with Bryant, 41 years old. Been around the league. He kicked with Sean Payton as a New York Giant. He helped us a lot in Tampa Bay, and he's become a very good Atlanta Falcon.
21-yard field goal, his first attempt of the night, and it is good. And the lead is 13 for the Falcons with 2:58 to go in the 3rd quarter in New Orleans.
I was 2 days from my 16th birthday when we evacuated. At that point, no one knew if we could ever go back home. When we returned home to rebuild, there was a banner hanging from the Superdome with the date for the Monday Night Football game. That night, the city felt alive again. I was serving food in the 200-level suites when out of nowhere, the entire dome erupted. The rebirth was in full effect. In that moment, we could smile and truly believe we were home.
Corey Taylor, former waiter in the suites, 10 years later, very important member of our crew. It's okay, you look toward the camera, Corey, and smile. Too busy doing his job. And we talk about what people endured. His family went to Lake Charles, Louisiana. 4 weeks later, that got hit by Hurricane Rita, destroyed the house he was staying in. They had to evacuate again to Vicksburg, Mississippi before returning to New Orleans. Bosher's kickoff is a touchback.
Very resilient people, and that's an understatement. I got a lot of friends down here in the Bayou, and can Drew Brees find a way to keep the Saints in this game? They're going to have to score, obviously, touchdowns every time they get the ball. Their defense is just too much a liability.
7 kickoffs for Bosher, all touchbacks, so New Orleans begins again at the 25-yard line. Two-yard gain for Ingram.
This Kamal Ishmael, who has played the last 2 weeks at the strong safety position, he'll hit you. He had 15 tackles last week, I counted, against the Oakland Raiders, and 9 of them I could feel in my dark film room. This guy will smash you. More of a box safety than he is a coverage safety, but the combination of Ishmael and their first-round pick, Neal, gives them 2 good safeties.
Dan Quinn raved about both of them yesterday. Tommy Lee Lewis has the first down. Got across the 35 to the 36. Hand fighting along the way with Robert Alford. 9-yard gain for the rookie.
It's bad coverage. They don't even cover the flat. You got 3 deep and you got 4 underneath. You have somebody in the flat, somebody in the hook, and Atlanta blew another coverage.
And the Falcons defense sufficiently leaky that if the Saints ever could get a stop, who knows what might happen. Michael Thomas wrestled down, but that's another first down. A pickup of 12, another tackle for Robert Alford.
Michael Thomas is a very physical runner after the catch. And for a rookie to come in here and play this big a role in this kind of an offense with this quarterback, he's got to have a lot of football intelligence. And Johnny Morton, their receiver coach, has fast-tracked him. He's one of the best in the league.
Like 5-6 left, ready. You ready? It's
Here comes a blitz, and they get to Brees. Just the second sack of the season for the Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Trufant the terrific cornerback on the blitz.
Good call by Richard Smith, the defensive coordinator. Trufant rarely blitzes. Breeze wasn't expecting it. Impact sack for this Falcon defense. Hey, if you can't get there with a four-man rush, Sean, dial up some blitzes and use your Pro Bowl corner if needed.
Second career sack for Trufant in his fourth year out of Washington on the delay. Ingram gets them back across midfield to the 47, but there is a flag down back behind the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Number 82, the offense. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, holding on a draw play. The draw plays have given Atlanta fits tonight. And when you're a tight end blocking a linebacker way downfield, just keep your hands inside. That negates a huge run by Ingram.
The ball back to the 38-yard line. They need to reach the Atlanta 41. Second and 21, final seconds of the third quarter. Over the middle. Catch made by Brandon Coleman. He gets yanked down by Robert Alford. That'll likely be the end of the third quarter. On to the fourth quarter we go. Atlanta leading. On to the fourth quarter we go in New Orleans, where Drew Brees in his 11th season with the Saints. His first 10 in New Orleans, the most productive 10-year span of any quarterback in the history of the NFL in any 10-year span, and it isn't even close. His 6,276 passes, way more than Brett Favre's 5,500 plus. The completions substantially more than Peyton Manning, as are the passing yards and the touchdown passes over the best 10-year span of Peyton Manning's legendary career. Here's a guy who's certainly going right into the Hall of Fame as soon as he's eligible, Drew Brees.
And he's had a lot of good players with him, Sean, but he's never had a Pro Bowl receiver. You look at him now, he's going to get into the huddle with a bunch of 22 and 23-year-old wideouts. Amazing, sustained production with so many different teammates. And everybody knows he's throwing it.
He's now thrown 303 straight passes without an interception. Longest streak of his career, longest current such streak in the NFL. Pulled it down, took the check down, work to do for Ingram. He has the first down. They were looking at second and 21, and they convert. Ricardo Allen made the tackle.
Watch these nudges, Sean. Watch Ingram and Cadet nudge the defensive ends before they release. Just enough to help the offensive line give Brees the protection to look downfield and get to his outlet. This is a great offensive design. It has been for years. And Drew Brees handles all the complexity better than anyone I've ever seen.
After the fake toss to Ingram, the deep ball caught. Tommy Lee Lewis down at the 10-yard line.
Tommy Lee the Flea. Doesn't matter. You got Drew Brees. Who cares? They're going to bring somebody across the formation. They're going to sell a toss. And look at Tommy Lee the Flea off this play action. Put it in gear on this deep cross. It's a beautiful throw. And if you practice every day and work hard with Drew Brees, he'll cut it loose and give you chances to make plays. He's done it his whole career.
Into the offseason as well. He brings the receivers out to San Diego, where he lives in the offseason.
Oh, boy.
And there is the interception, and it's Deion Jones, the New Orleans native who grew up here and had never been in the dome prior to tonight. He's in the dome, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta Falcons.
Drew Brees got fooled by the coverage. He thought it was man-to-man, and I think number 34, Ryan Poole, gets a piece. Watch Brees. He's going to throw this ball. He thinks it's man-to-man coverage. Poole tips it, and there's Deion Jones What a story he is. What a thrill for that young man to come back home. Dan Quinn, he's so fired up. You don't meet many head coaches with that kind of energy and enthusiasm, do you, Sean?
No, indeed. And it has been passed over to his team. So honest, he said, I did a poor job of building team camaraderie last year. You mentioned it, John. That's the reason he brought in some Navy SEALs in April to put them through some team building exercises. Matt Bryant adds the extra point. What a night for Deion Jones with his parents and many friends in attendance. Drew Brees had gone nearly 7 full games without throwing an interception, 305 passes, the 4th longest interceptionless streak in NFL history. Tom Brady 358, Alex Smith 312, Bernie Kosar 308. The only 3 quarterbacks who've thrown more passes in a row without getting one picked off, but that was a big one, a pick 6 by the rookie Deion Jones, born and raised here in New Orleans and played his collegiate football at LSU. 90-yard interception return. You joined us late. Lisa Salters told you part of Deion's story. Grew up here in New Orleans. His family had to evacuate the day before Katrina arrived. His dad said, let's go. And they got in a car and left New Orleans for almost 7 months. Wound up in Houston. His grandmother evacuated from her home, came here to the Dome, and she got bused to Houston, and for a month they had no idea where she was or if she was even alive. He grew up a Saints fan but never came to a game in here, had not been in here until tonight. His parents are here. His dad works in air conditioning and his mother manages a local sandwich shop. How proud must they be right now?
Very proud, and rightfully so. He had to get a lot of tickets. Got a lot of friends back here, and that's awesome.
We asked him yesterday how many people do you have coming. He just laughed. He didn't even know. He saw a section full of his admirers there tonight. Young man who wasn't even a starter at LSU until last year.
When you show up at your pro date, Sean, and you're on 4-3-8, gets people's attention. And Drew Brees in a no-huddle offense, it's the only thing to do.
Beasley came hard from the outside, didn't get there, and the pass caught by Fleener for a first down to the 47.
But take a look at Deion Jones, what he has to do as a middle linebacker in the National Football League. He's got to get the call from the sideline. He's got to communicate it, and then he's got to execute it. And it's not all perfect. He's a work in progress, but look at him out there now. He's got to communicate the strength of the formation, get his teammates lined up, and then deal with Drew Brees.
Brees, after the pump, throws for Fleener in traffic, and he hangs on to the 15-yard line with Deion Jones running stride for stride with him.
Same play they threw right before the first half. It's that old-fashioned triple seam, and you can't throw it any more accurately. He looks off the free safety and throws the ball perfectly to Fleener, who makes a beautiful catch against Deion Jones way down the field. What a catch by Fleener.
And perhaps he is emerging tonight. He'd been a bit of a disappointment through the first 2 games with 6 catches tonight. Ingram breaking tackles. And he's down at the 10-yard line. Brian Poole on the stop for Atlanta.
Ingram is a good back. He's getting some work tonight. They only ran the ball 13 times last week as a team against the Giants. 14 carries for 72 yards. A lot of it has been on draw plays. And I expect Atlanta to play a lot of zone coverage here. Surprised it's taken New Orleans this long.
Yep. Down by 20. They really can't afford to be spending this much time to get the play off. Ingram again. Bounce to the right. Cut back up the middle. Got popped. as he got to the 5-yard line, but he has a first down. Sean Weatherspoon in on the stop for the Falcons.
Atlanta is defending with zone coverage and daring Drew Brees to run the football. The clock is the only enemy. Sean Payton knows that. Don't be surprised if you see another run from Ingram if Atlanta spreads out and plays zone.
Ingram went to the left. They really had 3 defenders out there to cover 4 receivers, and it's a touchdown. You can see the Falcons waving at each other that they needed another man to go to their right. They didn't get over there in time. And another touchdown pass for Drew Brees.
Throw a quick screen. You got 3 receivers as lead blockers. Brees can throw the isolation slant to the bottom of the screen or the quick screen to the top of the screen, and you throw a pick 6, Sean. And you come out there with your offense and take it right down the field again. I call that football character. That's a great drive by this Saints offense, led by Drew Brees.
7 plays, 75 yards. Exactly 10 minutes to go. And the extra point by Will Lutz makes it a 13-point game. Brees and Ryan doing what they do again tonight. Saints franchise celebrating its 50th season. Of course, one of the most beloved Saints, the great quarterback and great gentleman Archie Manning, played here 71-82. Atlanta lined up as if expecting an onside kick. Will Lutz kicked it deep, and Justin Hardy took a knee. The Falcons have scored on 6 straight drives. Can they do it again as Ryan comes back out? Terrific matchup next Monday night will be at the new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The 3-0 Vikings against the 2-1 New York Giants at 8:15. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern Time with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Catch all the action on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. 10 minutes to go. Falcons ball. And on first down, Tevin Coleman gets a couple to the 27.
And what do you call if you're defensive coordinator Dennis Allen? You're missing Delvin Breaux and P.J. Williams, your top 2 corners. Kyle Wilson, your nickel corner. Kenny Vaccaro, your safety man, is out. Middle linebacker Donnell Ellerbe gone. You don't have Tyler Davidson, your nose tackle, or your first-round pick Sheldon Rankins either. You have a lot of backups, and the only chance you have now is to take some chances with players you don't know anything about.
Atlanta 136 yards rushing tonight. Ryan, deep ball, batted away by Sterling Moore, intended for Julio Jones.
I like Sterling Moore. Last week on 4th and goal, he rejected Odell Beckham with a great play. Here he is against the great Julio Jones, who's going to the corner route. He goes up and bats the ball away. Moore is on his 6th team in 6 years. Been pressed into service. You gotta love his resiliency. 3rd down and 8.
He was let go by Buffalo in the preseason, signed just before the first game of the year by New Orleans, started the second game due to the injuries. Can they finally get a stop on defense? Ryan in trouble. He takes off. He'll get the first down.
That's a backbreaker. Once again, Matt Ryan scrambling for the first down. You're going to see the pressure coming. It's picked up. Ryan puts the ball down, and off he goes. That's the 2nd first down for Matt Ryan today with his legs. And that one is a backbreaker.
18-yard gain. From the 45. Under 8.5 minutes to go now. Falcons with a 13-point lead. Tevin Coleman with the carry. He got a yard, perhaps 2. Roman Harper made the tackle. Freeman and Coleman have combined to rush now for 130 yards.
I was just going to say, Sean, I love the combination of Freeman and Coleman. I remember when I was in Philadelphia, we had Ricky Waters and Charlie Garner. We called it Thunder and Lightning, and I love the lightning of Coleman and the thunder of Devontae Freeman.
Freeman back in. That duo is combined also for 8 catches for 102 yards and a receiving touchdown. Ryan very comfortable on all these rollouts. His throw a little bit too high for Taylor Gabriel. Can Crawley have the coverage?
That's tough on Ryan. That's the 3rd time he's come out on a bootleg to his left. And when you're a right-handed quarterback, these can be tough throws into tight windows. Sets up another 3rd down and long. Dennis Allen blitzed the last time. I recommend a blitz again. This defensive line just can't seem to get there without some help.
Falcons 5 out of 9 on 3rd down. It feels like they've converted every one of those tonight.
Showing all-out blitz.
They blitz and they get there. Ryan sent to the deck back at the 38-yard line. Nick Fairley led the way.
The only thing to do when you can't get there with 4, bring some more. 2 linebackers. You see Harper and Laurinaitis in the A gaps. Sets up Fairley against Levitre in a 1-on-1, and Fairley wins.
His first sack as a Saint, 15th career sack. Bosher under pressure got the punt off, and that's kicked very high.
Bosher, he never gives up a yard on a punt.
Jairus Byrd, the fair catch 47-yard punt. Looks like Ryan hurt his left thumb on that sack. On Saturday, players, parents, coaches from 5 local high school teams got an opportunity to attend a football clinic at the Saints practice facility led by our own coach John Gruden. At the end of the clinic, Coach addressed participants, made donations to each of those individual high school programs, and I know you were really impressed that Sean Payton stepped up and matched the donation.
What's that say about Sean Payton? I mean, for him to come out and match all the funds that were donated, I just want to encourage all the coaches in the NFL, all the players in the league, do what you can to support youth football, youth sports. It's the greatest game. And Sean Payton, not only is he a good friend, he is a great ambassador of the game. I love him for that. Met some good friends, too, some good players right here in Louisiana.
Breeze on target. Is it a catch? Michael Thomas, yes. 9-yard gain. So the Saints defense finally got a stop after the Falcons had scored on 6 straight possessions. And now New Orleans could make it a 1-possession game if they could drive down and punch it into the end zone.
Mike by 6. Mike by 6. Mike by 6. Hey. Mike by 6 right. Ready.
6.5 to go. Breeze throws, and it's another interception. Robert Alford with the pick. He went 305 passes, 4th longest streak in league history without an interception, and now he's thrown 2 here in the 4th quarter.
Alford baited Breeze into throwing that. Just a hitch route to the outside, and Alford looked like he was playing off coverage, and he drove to make a great play. I think that ball's incomplete.
Yeah, I think that one's going to come back.
We will review the previous play.
He didn't possess it. Juggle and it hits the ground.
You never know on these instant replays. But that's incomplete.
Seemed to be pretty clearly so. Great effort by Alford, but couldn't hang on. And this will likely be overturned. While they take a look at it, we'll step aside with 6:24 to go in New Orleans. The Atlanta Falcons 1-15 all-time in Monday Night Football road games. They've lost their last 12. Their last road win came at the expense of our buddy Ron Jaworski in the Philadelphia Eagles, week 2 of the 1979 season. Steve Bartkowski, that late touchdown strike to Wallace Francis, and then the Falcons hung on for a 14-10 victory. 12 straight losses on the road on Monday night.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
You know, at the top of the broadcast, Sean, we said both of these quarterbacks are relentless, and they will not stop for 60 minutes. And just watch Drew Brees in this 2-minute drill work.
3rd down and 1 now. Out of the backfield, Cadet got blasted but held on for a 1st down to the 26. A hard hit by the hard hitter, Keanu Neal.
Good break and drive by Neal, number 22. He saw it the whole way, but 1st down, New Orleans. And here comes the fresh pass rushers for the Falcons.
That's why they rotate in up front, hoping they'll be fresh in the 4th quarter. Juggling attempt by Coleman. Ball that hit him in the hands. He couldn't hang on. Incomplete. Would have been about a 13-yard gain.
Seen several balls mishandled inside by the Saints. Pass protection has been unbelievable for New Orleans, given their deficit. Dwight Freeney, Vic Beasley. Where are you?
One sack that came by a cornerback. There's a throw to Fleener, having a huge night. And out to the 50, wrestled down by C.J. Goodwin.
Another seam ball to Fleener. Man or zone. Drew Brees is shredding them with these seam passes.
109 yards receiving for Fleener on 7 catches. 3-man rush. Brees behind Brandon Cooks.
Brees usually hits that one. He got fooled that time by the Falcons, who chose to rush 3. Protection held up again beautifully, and Cooks was wide open in the middle of the field. Normally Drew hits that. Got to credit, excuse me, Sean, got to credit Andrus Peat at left tackle, number 75. He's a backup. Been playing right guard, been playing left guard. Here he is playing left tackle, and every down is a pass against a fresh pass rush.
Talented guy, 1st round pick a year ago out of Stanford. There's another rocket thrown by Brees. Coleman hangs on for a 1st down to the 38-yard line.
And Sean Payton in 4-down territory, no doubt about it. Atlanta just playing a 3-deep, 4-under zone, and seems easy.
Off the hands of Fleener, then off Deion Jones, who's already picked one off and run it back for a touchdown.
Got to get your eyes out of the break quicker. I know he played with Andrew Luck all those years at Stanford and Indianapolis, but when you're playing with a 6-foot quarterback that gets the ball out as quickly as Drew Brees, you got to flash your eyes around fast and find out where he is. He's hard to see back there, and Fleener will tell you that personally if you talk to him.
Brees told us he's a little behind in terms of being on the same page with Fleener. Fleener had a knee injury much of the offseason. They couldn't work out together. Brees got belted as he got it off to Cadet. Cadet is out of bounds short of the 1st down at the 33-yard line. Here's Lisa.
Well, Sean, just an update on Matt Ryan. He's over here on the sidelines, and just watching him, you can tell that left thumb is bothering him. As he was getting it looked at, you could tell that he was in a little bit of pain whenever he was trying to move it. They taped up the left thumb, and now he's wearing a black glove on that hand. I saw him take a couple of snaps just to make sure he'd be comfortable when he gets back into the game. So he is going to return to the game, but you can tell that left thumb is bothering him. Sean?
Well, he's tough and durable. He's missed only 2 games in his career. Tonight was his 102nd straight start. 3rd longest among active quarterbacks behind Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. Nice hands catch by Thomas. He tried to slide forward for the 1st down, but I think they're going to mark him down by contact at the 30, short of the 1st down.
Boy, Thomas goes in there with no fear whatsoever. And That's a great catch, snatching the ball away from your body. It's 4th and 1. Watch the quarterback sneak.
And Breeze picks it up. Well, they're using a lot of time. The clock will be under 4 minutes by the time they next snap it.
Drew Brees in the huddle for a reason. He wants to get to his best play selection possible, but he's got to hurry.
Their 4 touchdown drives tonight all went 75 yards. This one would be longer. Breeze in trouble and dropped back beyond the 35-yard line by the ageless Dwight Freeney.
There he is. Sack number 120.5, and at closing time, Dwight Freeney finishes people. Good power rush by Freeney. He's known as a speed rusher, as a spin rusher, but the man still has power. He had 8 sacks in 11 games with Arizona last year, and that's his first sack as an Atlanta Falcon.
Even with Andrus Peat riding him all the way back, 120.5 career sacks for Freeney in his 14th season out of Syracuse. Third among active players, Julius Peppers, DeMarcus Ware, the only active players with more sacks, and he's 19th all time. Is he a Hall of Fame player?
No doubt. He better be a Hall of Famer. If there's not, there should be an investigation. I mean, Dwight Freeney, he's the kind of closer you need. If you want to win championships, you have to have a fourth quarter pass rush. And with this offense Atlanta has, Freeney's going to come in handy this year.
1 timeout left now for New Orleans. 3:38 to go. Down by 13. 2nd and 19 from the 37. 13th play of the drive. Cadet dropped for a loss by Brian Poole. Another rookie out of Florida for the Falcons secondary.
That's what the coverage looks like. Keep vision on the quarterback. Get to your coverage area and then break on the ball and make these one-on-one tackles with nothing after the catch. Great job by Brian Poole.
Undrafted, signed as a free agent by Thomas Dimitroff, general manager of the Falcons. Breeze dropped by Thomas and nearly picked off by Goodwin on the ricochet. And now they're down to a must-convert 4th down and 21 with 2:59 to go.
Well, you throw a sharp slant, trying to get half of it back to set up a convertible 4th down situation, and all you have left is 4th down and 21. And I don't even know if the great Sean Payton has a play for this situation.
Since he and Breeze arrived, only the New England Patriots have averaged more points per game than the New Orleans Saints. They've averaged more than 27 per game. The Patriots better than 29 per game over the last decade. 15th play of the drive started at their own 14. Breeze trying to keep the game alive. Now he's across the line of scrimmage and down way short of the marker. And the Atlanta Falcons take over on downs, and it's New Orleans native Deion Jones who put this one probably in the win column for his team, the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Blank, Falcons owner, on the field, and his team's about to have sole possession of first place in its division. After we finish up here in the Big Easy Sports Center at night with Scott Van Pelt, post-game wrap-up, news and highlights from the day in sports. Sports Center at night kicks off after our game right here on ESPN, also streaming live on ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Devontae Freeman behind the fullback. Patrick DeMarco.
Oh, wow.
Reverses his field. Now Matt Ryan thought about blocking, and I don't know if he decided that wasn't a good idea, if he just stumbled and fell. But he got out of the way.
I think he stumbled and fell. He saw Nick Fairley coming at him. I think he said, you know what, this isn't smart. Watch this ball cut all the way back, and Matt Ryan's going to find himself one-on-one with Nick Fairley. Right here.
No, I'm not going to do that. And then Freeman alertly went down to stay in bounds.
Look at Matt Ryan.
No. He went to Boston College. He's smart.
He's a smart man.
Yeah, his eyes got a little big when he saw the 308-pounder Fairley coming at him. 2-minute warning. And the Falcons on the verge of ending their 12-game road losing streak on Monday nights. Well, we noted earlier Dan Quinn in his second year with the Falcons started the night with a 1-6 record against his divisional opponents, and the one win was a big surprise. Week 16 last year over Carolina was the only regular season loss last season for the Panthers. And he said it was a point of emphasis with the players in the offseason. As a matter of fact, they spent time in their various mini camps running plays of their division teams. They'll say, okay, we're going to run a bunch of Tampa Bay stuff now. We're going to run a bunch of Carolina stuff now to put them in the mindset that they need to be ultra prepared for these games.
And they have a huge game this Sunday in Atlanta. I'd like to get a ticket for that one. Carolina coming to Atlanta. The Panthers 1-2 coming off a very ugly loss yesterday. And that crowd will be rocking in Atlanta. Falcons got a tough slate coming up, Sean, these next 3 weeks.
They really, really do. And that game last week in Oakland was an important win. They're going to have sole possession of the lead in the division. Freeman off to the races. One man to beat, and it's Bird who went down to the ground. Slowed him up enough to allow Sterling Moore to get back there. First and goal for Atlanta. And a huge night for Devontae Freeman, the third-year man out of Florida State.
Yeah, just a cutback run, and once again, Jairus Byrd in the middle of the field is a liability for New Orleans. Beautiful open field running by Freeman. His feet are always alive, and he showed a great stiff arm. He's caught the ball. He's a legitimate Pro Bowl back.
48-yard run, the longest of his career. Freeman up to 153 yards rushing on just 13 carries. He gets it again and gets nothing. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bird up from his safety spot to help on the play. And Nick Fairley made the tackle.
Freeman had over 100 yards last year here at the Superdome, and tonight, running, receiving, he has been outstanding. Saints have a long way to go, Sean, on defense. They need some healthy bodies in the worst way at all 3 levels of their defense.
And striving for more balance, and they found it. 219 yards rushing for Atlanta, 225 passing, and now they'll take a knee. I don't think Sean Payton's going to use that one remaining timeout. You talked about the schedule. Panthers, Broncos, and Seahawks in the games with Denver and Seattle, both on the road.
Yeah, but all 3 of those teams are watching Matty Ice, and they're saying, wow, this is a pretty good offense. They're distributing the ball everywhere. I think Julio Jones had 1 catch tonight, and the Atlanta Falcons almost 450 yards of offense. A lot of young players, new players, gaining confidence in this system.
And history is not on the side of Drew Brees and the Saints, as they are about to drop to 0-3 since the NFL went to its current playoff format in 2002. 4 division champions and 2 wild cards in each conference. No 0-3 team has ever made the playoffs. 69 of them started 0-3 prior to this year. None of them made the playoffs. First win on the road on Monday night since 1979 after 12 straight losses. A terrific performance by Matt Ryan. Threw for 240 and 2 touchdowns. Sports Center coming up next. The GMC postgame show is on Sports Center. We'll be back in just a moment to reveal this week's choice for the Gruden Grinder. Thanks for watching Monday Night Football from New Orleans. Final score tonight here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Atlanta 45 and New Orleans 32. Time now for the postgame Gruden Grinder presented by Nationwide. Of course, the fan voting on Twitter. And the winner is Tevin Coleman.
Man.
You like that choice?
Yeah, I do like Tevin Coleman. 3 touchdowns, but I got to go with Devontae Freeman, the other halfback. I call him Thunder. Coleman is lightning. But when you watch Freeman run for over 10 yards a carry, he caught 5 passes. Unbelievable stiff arm to start the game. Watch Sterling Moore, number 24. No match for the powerful Devontae Freeman. That got the party started. Then he catches a swing pass, gets good blocking down the field. It's a touchdown for Atlanta. And then just some of these off-tackle runs. He presses it. Open field running is outstanding. And then late in the game, he finishes it with a beautiful cutback run. And once again, Jairus Byrd in the middle of the field has no chance. Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. It could have been a combination Gruden grinder platter, but I was really impressed with Freeman more than anybody.
Well, can you do that? I mean, they really have become a tandem. Can you give it to both of them, or is that against the Gruden grinder rules?
That's against the rules. You'll learn that later in the season.
We're learning as we go. Great night for both of them, and an important win for Atlanta, now alone in first place in the NFC South. Stay tuned for the GMC postgame on SportsCenter. That's coming up in just a matter of moments. And be sure to be with us next Monday night from Minneapolis when we watch the 3-0 Minnesota Vikings play host to the New York Giants. So long, everybody, from New Orleans.